Chris wakes up one morning and her bank account is empty. Her apartment feels wrong. There are sketches on her wall she never drew. Someone did this to her, but she doesn't know who or why. She takes the same train every day, sits in the same seat. And then one morning a man sits across from her. He's quiet, damaged, and kind of familiar. They don't speak at first, but they keep seeing each other on the train, in crowds, like something is pulling them together. He touches her hand, and she remembers things that never happened to her. They try to build something normal, but the past keeps breaking through. Some connections can't be explained. Our first movie is Upstream Color, 2013. The film reveals its mechanism slowly, out of order, in fragments. Cause and effect are separated by entire acts. You see events but not their origins. Carruth shot it like a puzzle with missing pieces. He withholds information deliberately, not to frustrate, but to force the viewer into the same confusion as the characters. Carruth said he wanted the film to feel the way memory feels. Impressionistic, incomplete, subject to revision. Black Bear, 2020. Black Bear is a psychological, meta-style drama that blurs the line between reality, memory, and fiction. The story follows filmmaker Allison, who stays at a remote lake house with a tense couple, Gabe and Blair. In the first half, jealousy, manipulation, and attraction create an explosive love triangle that seems to end in emotional and physical disaster. Then the film suddenly shifts. We realize the events may actually be part of a movie Allison has written, and the second half shows a film production where similar dynamics play out again, but with roles rearranged, and Allison now being psychologically manipulated by the director to provoke real emotions for the performance. As the two halves mirror and distort each other, it becomes unclear what truly happened, what is autobiographical and what is fictionalized. Black Bear is a layered, self-referential, psychological puzzle about toxic relationships, gaslighting, and an artist turning personal pain into film, leaving the audience unsure where reality ends and storytelling begins.
Je ne sais pas de quelle chambre vous parlez. Je n'ai jamais été avec vous dans aucune chambre.
Ne voulais pas vous souvenir. Parce que vous avez peur.
Last year at Marienbad.
Ne reconnaissez-vous pas non plus cette photographie?
Set in a grand hotel, it follows a man and a woman whose conflicting memories of a possible past relationship blur the line between reality, imagination, and memory. Instead of a traditional plot, the film uses repetition, frozen moments, and surreal staging to create a hypnotic atmosphere. Viewers are encouraged to analyze the film like a psychoanalytic puzzle, piecing together meaning from fragments. The movie can be read in many ways, as a study of memory, obsession, fantasy, or even limbo. The experience is meant to be emotional and psychological, not logical. Last Year at Marienbad is a deliberately ambiguous, dreamlike film that resists clear explanation and invites personal interpretation rather than concrete answers.
See? He's all right. He's fine. Look at him.
But where's his brother?
The Prestige, 2006. The film depicts the obsessive rivalry between two stage magicians, Robert Angier and Alfred Borden. Initially working as a team, their lives are shattered when Angier's wife Julia drowns during a water tank stunt in a performance. Angier blames Borden for the accident, and this accusation turns into a years-long vendetta. After the accident, Alfred Borden and Robert Angier stop trying to simply outshine each other and start sabotaging each other's lives. Every new trick becomes riskier, more personal, and more ruthless. Assistants, friendships, even love get caught in the crossfire as the line between performance and reality begins to blur. What starts as showmanship evolves into psychological warfare. Under the direction of Christopher Nolan, the story unfolds like a puzzle box, layered, deceptive, and constantly pulling the rug out from under you. He scrambles the timeline so every scene is either setup or payoff, though you rarely know which at the time. By the end, one question lingers. How far would you go for a moment of applause?
I'm gonna read this.
Primer, 2004.
You're gonna listen. You're gonna stay on the line. And you're not gonna interrupt. You're not gonna speak for any reason.
A film by Shane Carruth, again. It is about two engineers, Abe and Aaron, who accidentally discover a way to build a time machine while running experiments in a garage. At first, their goal is simple and practical. Use short trips into the past to exploit the stock market and make easy money. But the machine has strict limitations. To travel back, you must physically stay inside the box for the same amount of time you want to rewind, and you can only return to the moment the machine was turned on. As they build more devices and repeat trips, overlapping timelines and multiple versions of themselves begin to appear. Trust erodes, paranoia grows, and especially Aaron starts manipulating events to stay in control. By the final act, causality loops and duplicated selves pile up to the point where the story becomes intentionally disorienting. Instead of offering clear answers, the film turns into a puzzle about power, control, and the unintended consequences of tampering with time. Made for $7,000, Shane Carruth treated the film like an engineering problem. He embraces scientific realism and ambiguity, creating a film designed less to explain itself than to be decoded by the viewer. As a result, fans built spreadsheets just to track the chronology.
Hello?
The Frame, 2014.
Do you see me?
Alex is a professional thief working jobs for a cartel. Sam is an EMT, spending her days trying to save people who rarely survive. At night, both return home and unwind the same way, by watching television. But something is wrong. Alex turns on the TV and sees a medical drama starring Sam. Sam watches a crime thriller starring Alex. They're not actors. They're watching each other's real lives. What begins as coincidence slowly becomes something stranger. They start reacting to events before they happen. They feel observed, manipulated, framed inside a story they didn't choose. The film never rushes to explain the mechanism. Instead, it focuses on isolation, fate, and the unsettling idea that your life might just be a narrative controlled by something outside the frame. Director Jamin Wienans keeps the budget small, but the concept ambitious. With minimal exposition, he drops the audience directly into the mystery and lets the structure unfold piece by piece. The result feels less like a traditional thriller and more like a metaphysical puzzle, a story about stories, where characters slowly realize they might be fictional. It's asking whether anyone is ever truly in control of their own life.
You've come back.
Mulholland Drive, 2001. David Lynch's 2001 movie stands as an avant-garde masterpiece, capturing the spirit of American cinema at the start of the 21st century. The film immerses the viewer in a labyrinth between dream and reality, centering on Diane's Hollywood ambitions and suppressed desires. After being abandoned by her lover Camila, Diane is consumed by guilt and regret, creating in her dream an idealized Hollywood world. In this dream, Betty, Diane's dream version, is a prodigiously talented actress, yet the corrupt industry and powerful male figures block her path. The movie uses dream logic and symbolism to deliver an emotional experience. Initially disconnected scenes gain meaning in the final act as Diane's guilt and reality collide. Motifs like Winky's Diner and the Blue Box embody Diane's internal guilt and Hollywood's deceptive nature. Lynch masterfully navigates the transition between dream and reality, blending emotional intensity with thematic depth. Moreover, the film places Diane and Camilla's LGBTQ relationship at its center, critiquing Hollywood's hidden sexual identity culture and male-dominated power structures. Its exploration of dreams, desire, and systemic decay has made it a cultural touchstone. BBC's recognition of it as the greatest film of the 21st century underscores its profound impact, showcasing cinema's power to evoke deep, subconscious feeling while redefining aesthetic and emotional storytelling. These filmmakers didn't settle for simply telling a story. They pushed beyond traditional cinematic goals to make us feel like we were trapped inside a puzzle or a maze, and they truly succeeded. Every scene becomes a clue, every cut a misdirection, and every ending feels like a door that drops you back at the very beginning of the labyrinth, just when you think you've found the exit. Thank you for watching.